Hey, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. We're on part 2 of the giant mechanical futuristic dragon. And this is actually a predatorial scrap creature. This robot was designed mostly to fly around and get the good parts. I'm just looking for a big brush to make this job easier. So the first thing we want to do is, just like all my mechanical stuff, we want to get some brown paint, brown metallic, some reddish brown, and some gray. I usually use light gray. I just happen to grab this. Okay. And we want to get some water. And I just have some dirty paint water here with a dead bug in it. I didn't put the dead bug in it, but he lives there now. And you don't have to do a perfect job, but you want to kind of get it around and get everything kind of covered. A big brush would be more success, I'm sure, than a little brush. There's a bug in my face. He's going to end up in that paint water if he doesn't watch it. It's been a nice couple of days. Got my new pool up. Needed to get that done. It's only a 14-foot pool, but I'll tell you what, when you're playing with the kids and stuff, a bigger pool helps. Whoa, not good. Not putting a whole lot of effort underneath there, because you're not really going to see it too much. Didn't even hold this upside down for the spray paint, but that's okay. Gonna need to get some super glue up under there to hold that arm down better. That's okay too. And we got to make sure we hit all the base up too. Get that all dirty metal. I'm just going to come back around here with the bronze, or not bronze, but the brownish metallic, and just try to touch everything I might have missed that might be important. And I want to make sure I hit that head up. Now I'm going to get my water and that brown, and I'm going to scrunch this guy up pretty good. Scrunging, I think, might be a technical term. Probably from Eastern Europe, I would suppose. You also get a lessons and shenanigans when you watch this channel, because I just make shit up as I go. Then you're going to get your gray, some of your metallic, and make a hideous color. Something like this. You want that to kind of lay up in some tall spots where things could pool on top, some grime and dirt could settle. Now I'm going to get some water and just whatever colors I have here mixed up and try to get it down in the base where I didn't get a good job where there's some baking soda and stuff. And that's not crucial. You can just kind of leave it if you really want to, but I just think it would look better. Okay, let's get those paints put away. I don't have my ceiling light on, hold on. All right, we get a new cardboard. Oh, my old man back's beating me up. We're gonna need to air dry this before we start on our colors. We gotta figure out what dragon we want, color we want this dragon to be. Oh, let me think. I want to make it red because its breath weapon is going to be fire. Because what it does is it sprays out fire to superheat metal so it can scrap it easier. So that would be like the obvious choice. But red dragons, oh, it's so cliche. Of course, it's not really a dragon, is it? It's a scrap bot. Let's get red and see what we can do. We want something with kind of a chisel tip or a flat tip for this, probably. I'm looking for something smaller. I have some bigger flat tips and chisel tips. I have this. This could work. So what we want to do is kind of come out and this brush might even be too big for this. Now remember, once long ago, this thing was actually painted probably nicer. But something called oilers and wrenchers, which are little robots that are independent of society, that just do what they're programmed to do, keep these things going. So because everything's trying to follow its programming to the best of its ability, the oilers and the wrenchers go to like where these things set up their lairs, which is kind of like where their starting base was usually. and they kind of just like live in harmony with them. And these things know that they're not something to scrap because they've been around just as long. I was trying not to get on the spikes, but I failed. Remember, I had to come back in there and super glue those so they're sturdier. You know what movie I was watching on Netflix earlier? I didn't get to watch much of it, but I got to watch some of it. Don't Mess with the Zohan. You could not make a movie like that now. There are some movies that, like, you just, at the time they killed, but you just couldn't pull it off now. Like Tropic Thunder. That probably wouldn't hit very well now. But there was a time where it was hilarious. But the world's changing. And everybody's always having this conversation about punching up and punching down. And funny just can't be funny anymore. You gotta look at things different now. I'm not sure what the rules are anymore. Every day I find out something new that makes me feel like I'm not part of the world anymore. I'm part of the problem, or I'm stupid, or I'm old, or I'm obsolete. It's happening more and more and more. And I don't mean to be any of that stuff. And I don't really think I truly am. But, you know, a friend of mine's wife once said that you either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain. And that stuck with me. She's a pretty smart lady. At least last I talked to her, she was. I assume she still is. She's actually pretty cool. I haven't seen her for years, but I do like her a lot. Maybe I'll talk to her someday. I think my wife liked her a lot too. Okay. I think we got most of that taken care of. Let's get some of this on the face. And he's fairly red at this point, I think. Let's get up underneath here. Get a little bit of water. I'm doing a real sloppy job underneath because I just don't feel like it's worth the effort to put too much down there where people don't really see it. But you got to paint it a little bit. Yeah, I think it is true that you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain, because as the world changes, you can only adapt so much. You know, you can't constantly be on the side of right and what's right and wrong over time, because of popular opinion and moral majority and stuff sways. And it's like, if you think like, my grandpa was a horrible racist, and we made fun of him for it. And we were, you know, we were not appreciative of his stance. But in his time in Germany, and when he came here, being a horrible racist wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't like a bad guy thing. It was just kind of like the world. So for us to judge him so harshly, well, looking back on it, it's like, well, is that how young people view me now? Like I'm this horrible, hateful person? You never know. And there's another saying that I cling to. I'm not sure where I heard this, and I think it's a newer saying. But the saying is, if you keep smelling shit and you're checking everybody's shoes for dog shit, maybe you should stop and check your own shoes. And that's a pretty wise thing to live by. All right, I'm going to just get some glue in here. In that arm, and in that arm. I'm going to swirl that around and get it on everything so it sticks. And then we'll come back with a metallic and we'll do the spikes and some detail work. So for my metallic, I'm just using this shining silver here. Nah, I'm going to use a craft paint. I don't want to use a good paint on this. All right, then you want to get something smaller brush-wise that you can do your rivets and stuff with so they kind of pop out more. I'm going to get a brighter silver for these. You probably don't need to do this. Probably could have hit these with a bit of a dry brush and got a good look. This is just something I'm doing for me. I'm going to paint these eyes silver too, and then come back and do a dot in the middle of them. I'm probably going to do my dot in orange or yellow or something. Okay. Something like that. Ooh, scary. I'm going to hit this with the hot air, just mostly to catch the eyes. I'm going to get an orange or a yellow. I'm going to get this demonic yellow. I'm going to throw it in my paint mixer real quick. Oh crap, I got it everywhere. All right, hold on. Oh well, it's going to be ugly a little bit. Something like that. Okay. Now let's get some black and do the pillar. I have a new Dollar Tree black that I'd like to try out, but we're going to wait for that. Now, we're going to do one more thing with that black. Let me put my brush away. We're going to make some scrunge with that black. So we want a bigger kind of brush. Like maybe that brush we used for the dry brush. We want to make some scrunge. And we want to dirty this boy up some. Moving parts get the most scrunge. Holes and significantly damaged areas get good scrunge. Then we get a lot of scrunge around the mouth because it's burnt. Okay, he's scrunched. Let's get some white. Holy crap, I almost sneezed my eyes right out of my face. Alright, so something like that. You could probably decorate this up as much as you really wanted to. You get my brushes cleaned out. You guys can keep looking at the the scrap dragon, the mechanical dragon. Let's set these brushes up to dry, sideways off the edge of a shelf, and let's take a look. Looks like it turned out pretty good. I don't know how well we can see it in the camera. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I really like this project. I hope it's going to look good up on the table. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and all that happy, crappy, leaving comments. Stuff that makes the channel grow, stuff that pleases the algorithm most. The AI that controls the future of my channel and its success. It doesn't really control the future of it so much because it's going to happen whether I suck or rock. But it is going to control how successful it is. So, check out the description underneath. There should be a link to the Discord and the Dungeon Swag website. And there's also a discount code down there to save you 25% off your first month of our sick-ass Dungeon Swag minis. So check those out if you got the money to. And if you don't, hey, no judgment, man. A couple more days left on the contest on Discord. The theme of this contest is places you don't want to live. I have not started yet, but I will at some point. Hey, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.